Hello, my name is Basia Salih Hoffman and I warmly welcome you to the program Fine Art. Today, I wanted to tell you about the times when artists began to emerge from the shadows of anonymity and started gaining the status of superstars, not only of their own, but also of our times, because has anyone not heard of Raphael, Michelangelo or Leonardo? And on the other hand, who has heard of no less brilliant artists from slightly earlier times, or even those contemporary to them, but creating in the north of Europe? Reading about medieval art is fascinating, and there the authors are listed as Master of the Legend of Saint John the Almsgiver, Master of the Saint Barbara Altarpiece, Master of Flamel, Master of Hortus Conclusus, and my favorite in terms of the title, Master of the years 1486-1487. Though interesting things happened with the Master of Flamel, who was divided into Master of Flamel hand first and Master of Flamel hand second. Where do these fantastic titles of the artists of the time come from? The answer is simple, because we do not know the real names of many truly outstanding medieval painters, and therefore they are given designations that refer to their exceptional paintings, places of their work, or a distinctive motive in their art. The question of why many excellent medieval creators remained anonymous is intriguing. In that era, artists were viewed more as craftsmen, and their work was regulated by guild laws, which meant that a painter had a similar social status to a blacksmith or a carpenter. It is also often believed that they created their works for the greater glory of God. Ad maiorem Dei gloriam. To some extent, this was probably true, though not every medieval creator was modest. For example, there was a certain Edwin who presented himself in this self-portrait as large as the images of the evangelist. It is also worth quoting the inscription attached to it. I am the prince among scribes, and my fame and glory over the ages will not fade. Explain, O letter, who I am. In the modern time, the social role of the artist underwent a true revolution. They began to be seen as intellectuals and creative geniuses, not merely humble craftsmen. Let's start with what was behind this revolution. Firstly, humanism. The modern era, particularly the Renaissance, is commonly viewed through the lens of rebirth of interest in classical culture, which led to humanistic appreciation of individual achievements and creativity. Artists were seen as embodying these ideals in life. Secondly, patrons, but different from those in the medieval period. they no longer treated individuals like Raphael or Leonardo as their servants. Wealthy patrons provided financial independence to artists working for them. Their financial support allowed creators to focus on their art and develop an individual style. Moreover, patrons competed with each other to attract the best creators. During the Renaissance in Italy, they often had to besiege them, such as Isabella d'Este, the Marquess of Mantua, who, despite desiring a portrait by Leonardo da Vinci, ultimately had to settle for this particular sketch. With this portrait of Isabella, things turn out quite well, because 30 years later, another prominent painter, Titian, portrayed her, and he had a challenging task. He had to imagine the Marquess as she would have looked 30 years earlier. Perhaps she was just a difficult client. In 5050, the first edition of Lives of the Most Excellent Painters, Sculptors and Architects by Giorgio Vasari was published. A work for which we, art historians, will be eternally grateful, as he immortalized the biographies of eminent creators of the Italian Renaissance. Vasari, when writing about rulers, uses terms like most holy, magnificent, brightly enlightened. In reference to artists, however, he changes his tone, describing them as amazing, extraordinary, divine, inspired. In doing so, Vasari demonstrated superiority of intellect over power, and given the success of his work, it shaped subsequent generations. Let me quote the way Vasari described Leonardo. In the normal course of events, many men and women are born with various remarkable qualities and talents, but occasionally, in a way that transcends nature, a single person is marvelously endowed by heaven with beauty, grace, and talent in such abundance that he leaves other men far behind. Everyone acknowledged that this was true of Leonardo da Vinci, an artist of outstanding physical beauty, who displayed infinite grace in everything he did. He combined great strength and magnificence, courage and prowess, to such an extent that his vast soul was never satisfied in his lifetime, which made his name so famous and revered that he was not only admired during his lifetime, but was also celebrated and honored by countless generations after his death. Leonardo was indeed a man of outstanding beauty and infinite grace. I wonder if some of this admiration for Leonardo has survived into times that are completely contemporary to us. Undoubtedly, the changed perception of the artist is also evidenced by the stories recounted by Vasari about the extraordinary relationships that connected some artists with the most important people in the world. like the one where the King of France, Francis I, hurried to Leonardo upon hearing of the artist's impending death. And Leonardo died in the arms of the monarch. The change from anonymous medieval masters to Renaissance celebrities is a fascinating revolution in the world of art. Artists who were once merely quiet performers gained voice that allowed them to influence the shaping of culture and society. In today's times, when everyone can be an artist on their Instagram, it is worth remembering those who blazed the trails for creative freedom. Thank you for your attention, and I warmly invite you to the next episodes.